Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because we're doing a home decor haul and we're also going to be doing some styling. I'm going to show you guys some of the recent home decor finds that I've been picking up for my home over the past couple of months and how you can style them in your own home. And all of these pieces are affordable finds. A lot of them are from my last video. If you haven't seen that, we went shopping at Target and Hobby Lobby. We found so many beautiful pieces and lots of styling ideas are in that video as well. Also, as part of this haul, I do have 2 new prints that are going to be coming to my Etsy shop that I'm going to be sharing with you. If you didn't know, I do have an Etsy shop where you can actually purchase my artwork and print it for your own home to use in all different kinds of spaces. So that's going to be really fun today as well. But I have a bunch of decor all laid out, ready to show you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. So a few weeks back, I sort of went through all of my decor that I use for just all year round neutral pieces. And something that I realized I was lacking was vases. So when we went to Hobby Lobby, I checked out all their vases and there were some really good prices. So I got 2 new ones that I wanted to bring into my collection. Hobby Lobby's prices are always really good, but especially around the new year, around that time of year, there are a lot of things that are on clearance or just like really good sales, and this was one of those pieces. It was $7.74. So this is the first vase that I picked up. I love the very classic detail of it. My style is kind of a mix of a bunch of different things, but the main things being like cottage, traditional, but also a little bit of modern, and I feel like this is absolutely perfect for it. I love the size of it as well and how it has sort of that smaller mouth at the top. It makes it a lot easier to put florals inside and make it look really full and big. So with vases, it's pretty self-explanatory how you can use these in your home, but I love pieces like this because they're so substantial and they have a lot of character. They look so beautiful just on a shelf by itself as sort of a sculptural moment, and it just has a lot of good size. Like if you just put it on a stack of books, it's absolutely perfect. For our home, we really did need a new sort of like dining table centerpiece. The vase that we were using was not in good shape anymore, so this is where we're going to be putting that. And I have these florals from actually the fall time that I actually use all year round because I love all of the warm tones in it, but it really fills up this vase beautifully. It's very whimsical and just really fun, very simple. I also wanted to try styling this on our media cabinet because that has such a rich wood tone to it. So I love to put this on there with maybe some colored florals in sort of a blush pink color. And I love to just sort of make a little moment to one side of the media center. And I am going to show you one other vase, but let me know what you guys think, which vase is your favorite, specifically in that media center. I do love the clean look of this vase with those pink florals. I think it looks really beautiful, but I do have another option that I wanted to show you guys. So the second vase that I picked up was this vase, and you may be thinking, I didn't see that in the store. Well, that's because I actually did paint this design on this vase. So this is originally what it looked like. It was very simple. It actually is very similar to the one that I just showed you, except this one has more of like a stone texture. So I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of feels more like plaster. It has some cracks in there, but I've been wanting to really experiment with color in my home. You guys know I love my neutrals. I love green. So I thought maybe I'd try blue, and I saw this vase that I really liked. I think it was on Amazon. So I sort of emulated that pattern, I guess, onto this vase. And I didn't fully finish it. Actually, you can see the back isn't fully finished. I sort of started because I wanted to sort of see it in my space first before I fully committed to it. And that's where I need your guys' opinion because our living room, the color of the walls is more of a cool toned gray. We repainted this room probably like 5 years ago, and I wish I had chosen something a little bit more neutral, a little bit warmer, but I really have learned a lot about interior design and just undertones and things like that since then. I really would love to repaint our living room so it sort of goes with the tones a little bit better, but it really is quite the undertaking because we have to rent scaffolding and I have to like go up on top of them because the ceilings in there, I want to say, are like probably 12 feet tall. So long story short, in my opinion, I feel like this might clash with the walls. I'm not sure if it sort of comes up on camera that way, but let me know in the comments below. Do you think we should keep this sort of pattern? Maybe we just make the blue a little bit more on the neutral side, a little bit less intense, if that makes sense. But I will say I love the pop of pattern that it brings to the media center. I love putting this on there with some white florals, just really simple and whimsical. This sort of piece really gives like a cottagey, very cozy feel. Personally, if I had to pick right now between the two sort of like vase setups, I think I would choose this one just because I love the pattern. But like I said, it depends on the lighting and how it looks with the walls and everything. So I don't know, you guys, I'm trying to really experiment with color, bring color into my space. I think I really do love neutrals, but I do really love this pop of color. So let me know what your opinion is in the comments. And this vase was on clearance for $9.49, originally $38, which was a really good deal. Now you've already got a sneak peek of these because I've been styling them in my vases that I just shared with you. But when I was shopping this time, I really was on the lookout for some florals. If you guys saw that decluttering video, I really don't have that many sort of spring, very neutral florals, if that makes sense. I have like a couple greenery stems, but I love my florals. I really just wanted to bring more into my space. So without even going into the store, I knew that I was gonna get these at Hobby Lobby, and it's these just beautiful, whimsical white cosmos. The detail on these is beautiful. I've actually grown real cosmos in my garden before, and this is exactly what they look like, down to how the stems look. They're just very whimsical and they look really wild and look like you harvested them. And I love it because it is currently snowing outside, but I have spring on the inside, and I just love them. They're super delicate, they're dainty, they're just absolutely stunning. These sorts of flowers can literally be styled in so many different ways. I loved pairing it with my blue vase over here. I just love the pop of color paired with a more neutral floral. These would be beautiful as a centerpiece in the middle of a table. You could put it in the middle of a coffee table. You could style them in a hutch in a beautiful pitcher. And if you have any of those like wall hanging baskets, that would be super pretty to pop those in there. It just looks very cottagey and very inviting, but these are super fun. I got 3 of them in the white color. I believe they were $6.99 full price, but when I went, they were like 40% off. So just a few dollars a stem, which is really good for very realistic looking stems. And then I got 3 in this beautiful blush color. I want to say that these flowers come in maybe like 3 different colors. There's another one that's sort of more of a beigey blush, if that makes sense. But same thing here. Love the detail. The color of it is beautiful. I love the sort of muted dusty rose color. So speaking of pops of color, I specifically got these to go in our bathroom. If you guys missed that video, I'll also have that link down below where we renovated our bathroom. It looks completely different, and I really wanted to bring a little bit of color into there. It's very similar to the rest of our home where it's green and cream and wood tones, so I just really wanted to complement that. So I'll tell you, my thought process was the main color in there is green. What's a complementary color to green? It's red. But I didn't want to go red because I didn't want it to lean Christmas, and I didn't want it to be too saturated, so I went down a notch from red. We lightened it up a little bit and we laid it on pink. So this is gonna go in that little black vase that I have in there. I just think it looks so beautiful. I love the contrast of the black with the very light florals. Again, they're very whimsical. They take up a lot of visual space, but they're also just really dainty. They're just such lovely little flowers that I absolutely love in any space. So again, I'm just sort of experimenting with color. I think it looks really beautiful in there, just the one pop of color. So absolutely love these. I got 3 of these. Again, I feel like that's just a really good number for smaller mouth vases. And especially in the springtime, I think these are going to be beautiful as well. Next up on the list is our only Target item. Don't get me wrong, there were so many beautiful pieces at Target that I wanted to pick up for my home. But in the end, being a college student, I wanted to sort of stay a little bit more on the Hobby Lobby pricing, if that makes sense. Maybe one day we will upgrade. But I had a gift card and I saw these and I just thought they're beautiful. It's something that I've been looking for a long time for my space, something that I can have up all year round for all the different seasons. And it was these beautiful marble bookends. These, I believe, yes, these are part of the Threshold collection by Studio McGee. They were $25 for this set. These are incredibly heavy. They are probably real marble, and they're so beautiful. I'm going to show one at a time because they are very heavy, but this is what they sort of look like. They just have some nice light veining in there. There's a little bit of warmth, and I love the overall shape of it as well. It's very classic, but it's also modern at the same time. So I specifically had these in mind for my shelves in our living room. Because they have sort of a rich brown color to them, I felt like this would be beautiful contrast on there. So I wanted to put it up on our shelves to hold a bunch of books together. So I have a bunch of antique and thrifted books that are a bunch of different colors, and I think it just looks so beautiful and classy with all of them bunched together. But how you use bookends in your home is pretty self-explanatory, but you can group together books anywhere on a console, on shelves. If you have a bunch of open shelves, this would be a really fun way to sort of display those books in a different way and just sort of create its own little moment. And like I said, I just love the material. I tend to like decorating with more natural materials or just natural looking materials if I can. And marble is one of those pieces that you sort of forget about because it's a natural stone. And also marble can be very expensive. So it's nice that there are options out there that are real marble, but they're more on the affordable side. These are super cute. I can't wait to use these for all the different seasons to come. And I also need to build my antique book collection. This has made me realize I just love the way that antique books look. I've always known that, of course. You guys know that as well. But now that I have actual bookends, I just really love the way that a grouping of old books looks in home decor. So we're gonna have to be on the hunt for those in the future. So as I mentioned, this home decor haul is sort of pieces that I've made or collected or bought over the last couple of months. And this is one of those pieces that I actually DIY'd. If I can find something similar online that you can just purchase, I will link them down below, but it was an incredibly easy DIY and I'll sort of walk you guys through the process. But the next item are these sort of tapered candle holders. And as you can see, they're sort of in this brass finish. I love the way that these look. However, these actually are glass, and I will pop up a picture of what they looked like in the different stages of the process of redoing them. But they started out a clear glass, sort of a crystal look. Now this part is just optional. I did it because my dad has a sandblaster, but I had him sandblast them, so they almost looked frosted, and it just sort of got rid of that slippery texture of the glass. If you don't have a sandblaster, you could always just use sandpaper and scuff it up really well and then just put some primer and then just layer your paint on top. But essentially he sandblasted these. I painted them a dark brown and then I used a gold paint over the top. And because I love more of an aged look to my brass, I did go over it with some gel stain. I saw Exo McKenna do this on, I think it was like a frame of some sort. I think she was making a frame for a frame TV or something. But if you use a dark gel stain on just like a little paper towel or something like that, you can sort of get into all of the little cracks in your piece to sort of make it look aged and weathered. So that's exactly what I did. I felt like these turned out so beautiful. Even just like with a candlestick, they look so classy. They look really aged and I just absolutely love them. I love things like candlestick holders that hold tapered candles because they add so much height and dimension to your home. They also add such a beautiful ambiance because I love to light them every once in a while just to sort of give that very inviting, cozy feel. Like I said, these are perfect for anywhere you want to add some height. Maybe it's in the middle of a coffee table or a media center or just on a side table. And of course, these are also great for table settings. If you want to have like a small gathering or something like that, or a fancy little dinner, these are always good to have on hand. And if you didn't want to buy something like this brand new, maybe it's a little bit out of your price range, first of all, do some digging in your home because that's where I found these. But also if you go to like a thrift store or anything like that, you can probably find something pretty similar to these and give it that same effect for not that much money. So these are perfect. I love how heavy they are because they are glass, so they kind of feel like actual brass, but it's not. So I just love the way that we are able to transform these, give them a new life instead of just letting them sit in a drawer for a long time. So these are definitely one of my favorites. So for my home, especially recently, I really love incorporating art pieces. And there are two different ways that I really like to get art for my home. One through Etsy, printable downloads that only cost a few dollars, and also clearance art pieces. So when I was at Hobby Lobby, I spotted this in their clearance section. So I want to say these kind of look like peonies. I would say they sort of look like roses but have a lot more layers to them. I love the sort of dark blue undertone. It sort of goes with the same idea as that vase. And then we have just like this brass frame. It's so beautiful. It's a little bit moody as well. I also love the size of this. I feel like smaller artwork has been very popular, and it's also just very nice to pop something like this on a countertop or just a little shelf. It does have sort of like a picture hanger on the back so you could hang it on a wall as part of a gallery wall, or you could just stack a couple of prints on top. So this is beautiful. I love to layer this with other art pieces. I'm actually going to be styling this in my living room as well, just with another clearance Hobby Lobby piece that I got last year. The size is different, the orientation of the print is a little bit different as well, and they just look so good together. It says $12.99 on the back, but I'm pretty sure I got it on clearance. I think it was probably around $6. Always be on the lookout for smaller pieces of art because you can use them in so many different ways, and they just add so much charm and character to your home. So our last Hobby Lobby item is very simple. It's something that I've eyed in the aisles every single time I go to Hobby Lobby, and this time I finally put it in my cart because it was only like $5. It was a $4.49, and it's this beautiful picture stand. So I love this because I love how simple it is. It has those very classic traditional lines. I love the black color as well, very simple, and it goes with the rest of my decor. It adds a little bit of contrast, but as you can see, it sort of has like little hinges so you can easily store it, and it sort of lays flat. But I love this sort of piece because it's so simple, but it really elevates your art. So if you have a stack of books or anything like that, you can just put this stand on top and then you pop your favorite art piece in it. I think it looks so beautiful. Something like this could also be used for a little cookbook in a kitchen, or just any sort of book you want to put on display. Maybe you have a favorite page in a book of like a flower field or something like that. If you have sort of any gardening books or anything like that, you can just find a page that you really like and display it open. And same with in a kitchen. If you have a recipe that you really like, or there's a picture that you really like, you can open it to that, and it sort of acts as decor as well. And this is also really similar to like art easels. I've seen a lot of designers sort of using those in their decor as well, just to give their art a little bit of height, add a little bit of interest as well. This is the same sort of concept, and it's only $5. So I'm really excited to sort of move that around to different spots in my home. And speaking of like frame stands and putting art on display, our last couple pieces are some art prints that are going to be available on my Etsy shop. One is really similar to one that I already have on my shop. I think it's called the English Countryside, but I wanted to make another version, and it's sort of a little bit closer, sort of zoomed in on a house sort of in the countryside. It has a lot of fun details to it, and it's just really beautiful. The other one is also a square print, where this one is rectangle. Of course, you can crop them to whichever one you'd like. Either of them will work for any size frame that you have, but this one is called In the Countryside. It's so beautiful. Again, I just wanted to add a lot more texture and just a lot more details. We have like a fireplace that you can see, so I was able to paint bricks. There are a lot of English details all over the house, and just the fun trim pieces. Lots of very lush, sort of overgrown greenery, which I thought was beautiful. And then there are also some pine trees in the back that just sort of line it, so it looks so pretty. Like I said, you can crop this to be the size of pretty much any frame that you have in your home. I kept it this sort of rectangle size and just put a really simple off-white mat around it just to sort of frame it out a little bit. And then I put it in this thrifted gold frame that I got from Goodwill a couple years ago, and it just looks so pretty. You could put this sort of thing on an art stand that we were just talking about, or you can also hang it on a wall. I really have been loving hanging pieces above my floating shelves in the living room. It really gives that sort of built-in feel, and it just looks very custom, and the colors go really well with the rest of our living room because I have lots of greens that are already incorporated in there. But like I said, this is now available on my Etsy shop. I will have it linked down below, but I just love that we have the option to use Etsy and that I have the option to put my artwork on there, because first of all, I love painting. Second of all, you guys are always asking where my artwork is from, and now you are able to purchase it for yourself, and it's super inexpensive. So I just love that I can make these available for you guys and that you guys love them as well. And lastly, this one is so fun. I wanted to do something very different. This one actually is not a painting. I just used a pen to do this. Super, super easy and fun and whimsical. I was really inspired by the sort of sketched pictures that I saw in the frames when we were shopping last week. I really love the way that looks. It's very simplistic, but it's different from just your everyday landscape. I paint lots of landscapes, lots of very lush greenery, neutral pieces, and I just wanted to do something a little bit different. So this one is called Poppy. It's so pretty. It's just this sketch of a bunch of poppies, and it sort of goes off the page. It looks very whimsical whimsical. So for this one, when you get it, it's just this print right here. This is just the mat that I put with it. I really love the contrast of it. And I also wanted to do something different to sort of contrast the sort of lighter background of the print. So this would be really fun to sort of switch up the color of your mat depending on the color scheme of the room or just positive color that you want to add. Something like this piece would look so pretty, just sort of stacked with a smaller piece of art like this, a different looking frame, just to sort of fill up a little space in your home and with something a little bit different. I really love the way that stacked art like this looks, where you have one horizontal and one vertical. It just looks so beautiful and classy. This piece in particular I wanted to also incorporate into our living room, so I put it underneath our shelves. Our shelves have a very sort of interesting orientation to them. They're sort of staggered, and there's just this space underneath the top one that I feel the need to fill. So I thought it'd be fun to hang a piece of art like this where I can switch it out for the different seasons if I want to, or I could leave it up all year round as well. So these are the two new art prints that are going to be available on my Etsy shop. If you want to check them out, you definitely can. And I do have my last collection on there as well. It was a trio of 3 different prints that also go really well together. So if you need to put together a gallery wall or anything like that, definitely check those out. But that is going to wrap up today's home decor haul and style with me. I hope you guys got a lot of inspiration from this video. Anything that I can link in today's video will be linked down below in the description, including those art prints I just shared with you. They're super fun and versatile. You can even use them on the picture stand that I shared with you, hang them up against shelves, hang them on walls. So many different things to do with them, and I also hope that you guys enjoyed all of the other finds, vases, florals. We definitely have a good foundation for spring, and I just have lots of ideas to incorporate them into my home. Anyway, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me on my channel today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.